Welcome to the Box Score Network NFL Draft Show. My name is Peyton of Two Peas on a Pod, and joining me are three of my good buddies from our network. We have Simon Shortt from the Simon and Friends podcast. We have Austin Freed from the Tricky Takes podcast, and we have Ben Parker of Odds On Favorite. And not going to lie, I forget the name of the other thing that you do. Can you provide and do a little plug for me on the just doing it live?
Yeah, so I do several things, but I guess you're talking about the Pro Football Enterprises
Yes.
YouTube stuff.
Yes,
So a
I
lot of draft
apologize.
prospects over there. It's draft prospect season. Our reason for being here tonight. So there's a lot of offensive guys over there. So go check it out.
He also
Yes.
welds and builds birdhouses in terms of the other things that Ben likes to do.
Very talented guy, Ben. But we are going to test his talents and Austin and Simon's talents in their ability to guess prospects based off of their traits, based off their silhouettes that you're going to see on the screen, and based off their player comps in our new game, Name That Prospect. Now, you'll notice it's in the Pokemon font because not just by happenstance it is the 30th anniversary of Pokemon, but for at least my childhood and Simon's childhood, maybe not Austin's, maybe Austin's, but this is a very familiar graphic, and we wanted to find a fun way to gamify talking about NFL draft prospects from the 2026 class in this format. So what we are going to do, we have a point system. We are going to have these three contestants guess the player based off of silhouette, and we have a couple of hints along the way to help them figure out who this prospect is. And by the end of this, we will have a winner, but we have our first player here. And I'm going to have our players submit their guesses based off of just the silhouette for player one. And we are going to find out if any of them are talented enough to get it off of the first rip. So go ahead and submit those guesses right now. I will inform us of if anybody got it correct.
Apologize. I just start a new conversation. I was about to send it to the group, so I apologize to everybody.
That would have made the game a moot point.
I'm also convinced you right before we recorded, you were like, you'll all know the order that I'm going in based on how I sent it to you, and I'm convinced I'm gonna have it in the wrong order. So
I'm gonna look in the I'll cut this out. I'm gonna look in our thing and just make sure.
Again, don't cut it out.
Okay. So
Show them how the sausage is made.
Is the second one I love how I'm gonna use these descriptors. Is the second one that you guys have? Oh, it's not gonna work because is it that one?
Yes, it's that one.
Then you're in the right order.
That's the second one.
Okay, then it's in the right order.
No, I'm gonna screw it up somehow. I think you should have to act each one of them out.
Oh, like do like charades?
Or like you have to describe it verbally, what is happening in the picture.
It's like
recite a poem.
Describing memes verbally.
I've submitted my guess.
Okay.
Austin said, let's get back on track.
The verbal description sounds more like audio porn.
All right, so of the three contestants, Simon is the only one who has gotten it correct. So he is awarded 5 points for guessing it based off just silhouette.
What?
Great job. Great job.
Did I get the right position, Peyton?
Don't tell him.
I'm not going to be able to tell you that, unfortunately. You'll find out by the hints. So we're going to move on.
Losers call me when we're on number 2.
We're going to move on to our first hint for this player. This is from Daniel Jeremiah's scouting notes. Daniel Jeremiah says, he was a dominant presence. He has a thick, proportioned build and plays with outstanding strength. In the passing game, he can bend his knees, redirect, and stay attached to defenders. He will occasionally take a loss against speed, but handles power with ease. In the run game, he latches on, runs his feet, and always looks to finish. I love his temperament, toughness, and ability to anchor. He'll be an impact starter from day one. So Austin and Ben, go ahead and submit your guesses while Simon go ahead and celebrates his 5 points that he gets off the first player.
Okay, I feel good about that one.
Yeah, I don't feel good about that one. So, geez, dang it, boy.
I will go ahead while Ben, I'm going to give you a couple seconds to submit your guess. I will say that, Freed, your guess is incorrect.
Dang. Okay.
All right, I put one on.
Okay. You are also incorrect, Ben. So no 3 points. You will go on to the next hint. So this is going to be from Dame Brugler. Dame Brugler's scouting report says both looks and plays the part. He is quick out of his stance in pass protection and sports a stout base commanding hands to anchor his spot. As a run blocker, he generates explosive power from his core to dig out defenders on drive/down blocks and flashes the competitive temperament to finish. Simon's charades are cracking me up.
My second guess was worse than my
It
just
absolutely was.
blind one.
I wasn't going to give you any kind of feedback on that, but you found out very quickly that was a worse guess.
I must have misheard that whole spiel that you gave for
It
that
was
first hint.
kind of like a word vomit, but you know.
Yeah, okay. Who's that describe? I'll say
I will, you know, remind you that like all these guys are going to be guys that are like in our top in at least me and Ben's top 50. And so just keep that in mind so you're not going like way off the radar. Both of you not bad guesses though. Still incorrect, unfortunately. So we're going to go on to our last set of hints where you both can try to earn 1 point to save yourselves as Simon has resulted to juggling.
Do we kind of suck or do we totally completely
No, you don't
suck?
totally suck. I mean, maybe depending on how the viewers have if they have an easier time doing this or not. But the player comps, I'm going to give you 3 player comps. This is going to happen for every player going forward. Top 3 player comps that I found on the internet are Steve Avila, Cooper Beebe, and Larry Warford. Last one's a bit of a throwback, but those are the 3 comps that were the most common. So go ahead after hearing those, submit your final guess, and we'll see if you get any points this round.
Sorry, I'm doing a quick search here. I know that's yeah. I'm
sent
out of all my
mine.
good guesses, so give me a second. Here we go.
You're fine. No problem. I will go ahead and say that Freed did save himself and got himself 1 point.
Okay, let's go.
And unfortunately, Ben, you come out of this round empty-handed. So the player that you all were trying to guess, or at least, you know, Ben was trying to guess this whole time, is Vega Ioane. And so I don't know if,
Really?
you know, you guys have any quick thoughts you want to get, but congrats to Simon, first off. Just doing probably the hardest thing that this game has to offer, just based off of the black you know, like just the black silhouette stance with a random quarterback frame receiving a snap behind him. Good job on you, Simon, again. But as a prospect, do you guys have anything that you want to offer about Vega Ioane before we move on to our next guy?
Stud.
Yeah.
I was flirting with O-line 1 for a while on my big board, like regardless of position. The least amount of questions in terms of like I know exactly where he's going to play and I know exactly what he's going to do. You know, I think Maui Go is the other guy in line for that sort of title, but I don't have any kind of concerns whatsoever about Ioane. Like you can argue about what the overall ceiling is gonna be. Like, is he a Quentin Nelson? I don't know, probably not. But like, I know exactly what's gonna happen when he gets on the football field, and I love that.
I'll tell you what, based off what Daniel Jeremiah said about him, I'm wondering if he can play D-line because I guessed a D lineman after that description of him. I was like, hell yeah, put him
Why
in
was
a
he facing the
4-eye.
wrong way from the quarterback then, man? What happened?
I thought so too.
He wouldn't be a very good defensive lineman.
You're going the
Looking
wrong
at
way.
that image, I thought I was getting like that ballerina silhouette where it like spins both ways depending on how you look at it. Like seeing the
Oh,
silhouette
I see.
sometimes it's hard. I was like, is he facing the quarterback here?
I wasn't trying to get
and that
that
really
tricky.
tripped me out.
You know what? I can kind of see a defensive end there with his right hand down. Okay.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. I see it now. But
I mean,
anyways,
it would be a horrible picture for somebody who I've taken for a newspaper of
Yeah.
like.
Freed's
This
second
guy's
guess was Ruben Bain. So, you know, high praise for the kind of athlete that Vega Ioane is on Freed's part. But
Honestly, not that.
I mean, he's pretty sick.
I mean,
not gonna,
not too dissimilar athletes.
if you really think about it.
All right. So now that we've gone through our first round, we kind of get the hang of how this game is going to work going forward. So moving on to our next player, we have the next silhouette. Now, I'm going to go ahead and ask you guys to go ahead and take your shot, try and guess who this player is based off of that stance. It's not really doing a whole lot of helping. Maybe you could tell a little bit by the frame, but we'll see based off your guesses what you guys think. Funny enough, somebody else guessed it correctly, and it's going to be Austin who gets it correctly this time based off just the silhouette. So congratulations, you get to stand around and do your dance just like Simon did this time. Simon and Ben, you guys did not get it correct.
Dang.
So I'm going to give you guys your first hint. Daniel Jeremiah says, an undersized receiver with elite burst and inconsistent hands. His speed jumps off the screen. He creates massive separation against quality competition. He hauls in a lot of quick hitters, bubbles, slants, and shallow crossers. His hands have been the biggest issue. He has too many concentration drops. When he does finish the catch, he is dynamic with the ball in his hands. His transition from catch to run is immediate and explosive. All right, I have a guess from Ben, and I have a guess from Simon. Ben did get it correct, so Ben gets awarded 3 points. Good job, Ben.
We're crawling back,
They
Ben.
are
Good
crawling
job.
back
Coming back.
quickly. Simon, you stop the bleeding a little bit here with this next hint. Ready? Dane Brugler says that he's an urgent gliding athlete. He isn't all the way there yet, but he has come a long way with his route running and routinely creates separation. He isn't the most natural hands catcher, although he will benefit in the NFL from having a more receiver-friendly quarterback. You did not get it correct once more.
Oh, bummer.
So I'm going to give you some player comps, and based off of previous discussions I've had with you, I have a feeling you're going to be able to get it this time.
I don't know. Maybe I'm only good at offensive linemen. Maybe that's all. You got any more offensive linemen on here?
I think I have a couple more. We'll see, though.
All right.
Player comps. Khalil Shakir, Emmanuel Sanders, and Zay Flowers. If you
I
want,
hate
I'll
all
let you.
those
I'll let
player
you just,
comps, by
since
the
you're the
way.
only one who hasn't gotten it correct, I'll let you give your last guess on this. You know, you can just say it out loud.
Oh, jeez.
Really put the pressure on you.
But it's a player you know is on my.
Well, I don't know, because the thing is, I made these before you and Austin actually input your pick boards into this spreadsheet. So I know that this guy is on
So-
me and Ben's top 50.
Let me scramble over to your top 50 real quick. There's a player in my head that actually came to mind first, and I eliminated him because I thought he would be too low. But now I'm a little nervous that it is him. But I'm gonna stick with someone who's more in the higher up boards, and I'm gonna go with Casey Concepcion.
Ding, ding, ding. You got yourself a
Okay.
point, my
All
good
right.
sir.
All right. Okay.
So you and Freed are currently tied at 6 points. Ben's got 3 points. Still anybody's game. We're gonna move on to our next player. Unless I guess I should open the floor. Do you guys have any like really interesting thoughts on Casey Concepcion as a player?
First of all, I want to say it's a little disrespectful for you to put him on the board and not expect me to get it instantly. Okay. Second of all, the player is absolutely dynamic. I feel like I see him differently than most of these guys because I watched him in person as a freshman at NC State, and I feel like most of these guys who are watching tape are not watching his freshman tape, and I've seen a different player. He was a very different player. And I'm really excited for him in the NFL. I see him as more of like a Percy Harvin type guy in the league.
That's really high. I
It-
mean, yeah, I think that like athletically, very very underrated. I think throughout this draft process. Simon, go ahead with what you were going to say.
It's just it's a little funny, but it's also a little affirming that I mean I went straight to like some of the top receivers in the class based off of those scouting reports. Like I think my first guess based on a description was Makai Lemon, and I was like, I didn't really see a lot of Makai Lemon drops, but like the rest of it like sounds really good. So if you can clean those up from Concepcion, I think he's somebody that for one of these good teams at the back half of the first round that like need a little juice. I mean, I think those descriptions scream it, but I think the film does as well that he could provide a lot of that.
When you get to Concepcion, the hands thing is a real thing. Me and Shane talked about that last night. It isn't just drops. He's an awkward pass catcher. He does not look like a naturally catching kind of a pass catcher. Now, this two things can be true at the same time. Quarterback last year, Not good. I mean, the ball's all over the freaking place. But yet, still, there's a lot of passes there where he's catching them kind of clumsily. Having said that, I've still got him top 30 on my board. I haven't yet punished him for that because the production, the athleticism is so high. So, it's up to teams to decide how much they want to punish him for the hands thing.
All right. So with that said, really good discussion there about KC. We're going to move on to our third player. Now, third player, I don't really know there's a whole lot to go off of with that silhouette, but you guys can go ahead and submit your best guesses for this player. Man, you guys are really good at this. Specifically, Simon is really talented at doing this because he got it again. So good job, Simon. Go ahead and continue practicing your juggling. Go ahead and make yourself a PB&J, whatever you want to do. Yeah, enjoy a chapter of your book.
All right, AJ Brown.
Freed and Ben, we're going to have you guys go ahead and take the first hint to see if you guys can get this player. Daniel Jeremiah says that he is a versatile defensive lineman with an ideal frame and length. He lacks ideal twitch and explosion, but he's a very loose, fluid mover. As a pass rusher, he doesn't have an elite get-off, but still finds ways to win with a swooping arm over or steady pocket push. He doesn't always have a plan, which impacts his production. Against the run, he can stack and hold the point of attack because of his length and balance. Ben got it correct off the first hint. So, Ben, good job there, my guy. Awesome. We're going to keep going with you. You did not get it correct. Dane Brugler says, an impressive athlete with experience lining up. Sorry, Simon is killing me with the building blocks. An impressive athlete with experience lining up across the defensive line. There isn't a ton of deception in his rush attack, so he will need development to realize his potential. There are more almost plays than impact plays on his tape.
I have no faith in this guess, but this is who that sounds like to me. Oh, I guess I can just say it out loud.
Yeah, I guess you could. Yeah, or you are the last one standing. So who do you think it is?
I'm gonna go Cassius Howell.
It's not Cassius Howell. So unfortunately, you're gonna have to see if you can scrape 1 point out of this round. All right, so the player comps are Trayvon Walker, Carlos Dunlap, and Dallas Turner.
Okay. I don't have anybody comp to Dallas Turner besides maybe I'll say Keldrick Falk.
There you go. You got 1 point out of this round. So I will ask Simon, you know what? I'll ask Ben because Ben actually got it off of the first hint. Based off of the scouting report, like to you, what was like the dead giveaway as to why this was Keldrick Falk to you?
Yeah, there's the natural athleticism mixed with not yet finished move type stuff and not always a game plan, which indicates younger age, but also does hold up well against point of attack in the run game. So he is flexible. You do not have to ever take him off the field.
Yeah, and I mean the other things like that I noticed between Dane and DJ's scouting reports is just like especially in Dane's where he talked about like a lot of almost plays. Like did you guys also see that when watching him where it's like there's a lot of times where he has the potential to like finish off plays, but it just doesn't happen for him on a game-to-game basis?
Yeah, to a degree. I saw less of not finishing than I saw of him kind of getting pushed off, chipped off, whatever. And maybe if he just gets better moves and stronger as well, which is odd to say about him. But if he does those two things at the NFL level, really truly gets serious about his game, then yeah, he's not having any problem finishing plays, as it were.
I do wonder with him when you're this athletic, but you're also this big and strong. And Trayvon Walker is an interesting comp, but Walker was still a little smaller, right? Like 6'6", 270 versus 6'5", 260. Like, I mean, that's in the same range, but it's very clear that Walker was like that big, but a speed rusher. Falk feels like he's kind of in between. And when you're in between, when you're someone that like could be this big and powerful, but you're also could be this like quick and bendy, I kind of feel like if you don't naturally have a ton of production with that kind of archetype, like Myles Garrett, right? He's not Myles Garrett right now. Therefore, I don't think you can develop into that. So I think it's gonna have to be like he's gonna have to pick which direction he's gonna go in. And if he's gonna be this 6'6", 270 power rusher, crush the pocket, and then use your long arms to finish the play, like Ben's saying, you have to lean into that and get a little bit stronger, get a little more heavy-handed to really be able to shock those linemen back. And right now it feels like he's kind of in between. And that speaks to, yeah, he's 21. He's a pup. He's super young. So I think if he's going to reach that potential, he's going to have to pick, is he a power guy? Is he a speed guy?
All right, so we'll go ahead and move on to our next player. Next player silhouette is a little more interesting than the last few. Kind of an unorthodox little looking silhouette here. So I'll let you go ahead and give your best guesses for this guy.
This really could be literally anybody.
Some of these were strategically
Is this-
chosen because they were more ambiguous than others. There was a
Yeah.
couple that I was like, all right, you could definitely tell this guy plays a certain position. And I was like, I'm not
Right.
gonna give them that much leeway.
What's the score, Peyton? Just want to.
Oh yeah, let's get a score
an update on
update.
that.
Currently, Simon has 11 points. He's in the lead.
That's
In
right,
second
that's right.
place. It's almost like you had a reason for asking that. Austin has
Just wanted to check my math out. It's over here. That's good.
Right. yeah,
Austin has
fact
7
checking.
points in second place, and Ben has 6 points. Still anybody's game at this point. Nobody got the correct answer, so that's great. I'm glad that we can have all of you participate.
I'm out. I'm not going to get any points on this one then.
All right, so our first hint, Daniel Jeremiah says that as a pass rusher, he displays a lot of twitch in his feet and hands. He can win with a quick club move or collapse the pocket with power. He's very disruptive, but struggles to finish with production. He's frustrating to watch against the run, flashes knockback power on the front side and range on the backside. However, there are long, dry stretches where he hangs on blocks and gets washed down the line of scrimmage. Okay, nobody got that one either. So we will go on to the second hint, which is Dane Brugler, where his scouting report is very small, but I think has a pretty good hint within it. Still learning how to maximize his talent. Teams liked seeing him get better and better throughout Senior Bowl week.
See, that's a great hint. It should bring up something, and still,
Simon did
I'm
get it correct
scrambling
off
on
of that
that.
one. See, have some faith in yourself, Simon. You can do this. Try to just,
How many points was that one?
That was for 2 points.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. Get a layup every once in a while. It's fine.
Austin's guess
There we
is
go.
also wrong. And Ben, that is unfortunately incorrect as well.
dang it.
Funny thing
Okay.
is, you guys have all been guessing the same 3 names, which is funny for this exact guy,
Really?
just in different orders.
We're very consistent.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. So the last.
Honestly, I almost argued with you when you read the first description. I was like, no, that's the person I said from the silhouette. You read my message wrong,
Yeah.
clearly. I was clearly correct.
All right. So the last hint we have are the player comps. Player comps for this guy are Gervon Dexter Sr., Chris Jones, and Jordan Davis.
Okay.
I
think
will
think I have
say
it now.
these player comps I would say are in order from best comp to decent comp. Some of these I just wanted to provide 3 that give traits that these players have. So don't fall too much in the hole of reading that third comp and reading super into it versus the top 2. The top 2 are more correlated to maybe closer matches to who the players are. I got your guess, Ben, correct? Just now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is incorrect.
Dang it.
That silhouette just doesn't look like it could be this guy. But a lot of the other stuff fits. Does it? No, that just couldn't be him based on the silhouette, I don't think. Time's of the essence, I reckon.
No confidence, huh?
No.
Austin, you got it correct. It's Caleb
Okay.
Banks.
I thought that 2
Wow.
guesses ago. There's just no way that's a picture of Caleb Banks.
It is. I kind of picked that one strategically because I was like, man, that
Is
does
he
not
in
look-
middle school?
Yeah, he does not look very big there at all. It's something about that side profile makes him look super skinny and super short.
Black is a slimming color, they say, actually. I
Yeah.
think.
You know what's funny? I swear I saw him do that. That was a celebration. I swear I saw it on film, and that it really stood out. There was just this massive human standing over some small accountant.
Accountant.
Poor bastard.
All right. Well, do you guys have anything that you want to mention about Caleb Banks as a prospect before we move on to our next guy?
Boy, has he slimmed down a lot since the
He
season. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I'm excited. Excited to see him line up at tight end this season. No, I'm in love with Caleb Banks as a prospect. Truthfully, I think there's a lot to love about his tape, specifically against um, as like a interior pass rusher. He's phenomenal.
All right.
You just don't make him that big that move that way
No.
when he's healthy.
No,
And it was pretty astounding, and just the fact that he at his size came back in the season that he injured his foot and played at all, and is it, I think, also a testament to the athleticism. And I know the want to is a question at some points, but I don't think you do that the way he did. If there's not some desire that can be honed, so I'm excited for Banks as well.
All right. Moving on to our next player. We're almost to the halfway point here. So we have what looks to be somebody in stride, so to speak. I'll go ahead and let you guys give your first guess for this particular player.
While they're doing it, Peyton, I sent mine in pretty quick. I'm going to keep guessing this player until he is one of the silhouettes. Okay.
I'll go ahead and say that is also incorrect. I love your what's the word I'm looking for? Your like headstrongness of just like, it's gonna work one of these times. I can't give you any feedback whether it will or won't, but
I'm not going to get these silhouettes correct. We all know this. Okay.
All right, Austin, your guess is also incorrect. And then based off what Simon guesses, we're going to move on to the first hint.
Oh, I sent mine in.
Oh, did you? Okay, maybe
Yeah.
I just didn't read it. Okay, I didn't read it, and it's incorrect. So we're going to move on. No 5 points for anybody this round. All right, so this one we actually only have, I think we ended up with Dane Brugler and Lance Zierlein, because Daniel Jeremiah, this might be, I don't know if it's a hint necessarily, but Dane Brugler is going to give our first hint. He says, an above average athlete for his position, he attacks the technique of defenders and uses his quickness to consistently win one-on-one on slants, digs, and goodness gracious. Let me read that last sentence again. He attacks the technique of defenders and uses his quickness to consistently win one-on-one on slants, digs, or seam balls. He's produced mixed results when asked to attack in traffic, but he has reliable hands and fluid adjustment skills. Okay, Simon, your guess is incorrect.
Yeah, I didn't love it.
Ben, also incorrect. Not bad guesses, just incorrect.
I'm taking a swing here on this one.
Austin, also incorrect.
Okay.
All right, moving on to our second hint. We have Lance Zierlein from NFL.com. Says, an excellent athlete with long arms, but needs to keep filling out his frame. He's a natural pass catcher with an outstanding catch radius and massive run after catch talent. While his route running and contested catch ability need work, he excels at moving the chains on screens/short catches. He has the speed to threaten downfield against linebackers. Austin, your guess is incorrect. Ben, also incorrect. And Simon, correct. Player comps. Jordan Reed, Mike Gesicki, and the last one I'm not super happy to include there, but it was Aaron Hernandez as a player only. Don't freak out. Player only. Don't think of anything else.
Okay.
That's wild. Who made that comp? Whose comp is that?
I believe, I'm trying to remember where I sourced that from.
He did. That was his own comp.
Exactly. This
me.
is slander. Peyton did it.
No,
Yeah,
no.
100%.
I can
Oh
find
my
where I sourced that
gosh.
later, but I actually don't
That
remember
is
where.
wild.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like Will Compton or something. There's no way a real person did that. That's insane. It was a Emeka Egbuka. Did you guys see his tweet today?
No, I did not.
He said, "Is CTE even real?"
Oh no.
Thinking emoji.
All right,
Oh.
so Austin, your guess is incorrect. Ben, you did guess it correctly. All right, so the player here, now that everybody's guessed, is Eli Stowers. So I think this is a really interesting one because I had to omit like a really obvious hint from the first report where it was like he's a converted quarterback to tight end, which would have been like a dead giveaway as to like what player this is. Now, I guess I'll open the floor because I think that after the combine, especially, a lot of people are kind of torn on how they feel about Stowers as a tight end. Like, even if he'll be able to survive at tight end, at the next level if he needs to convert to receiver. What are your guys' thoughts on him?
I think the athletic testing is different than like football on field, actually what you ask them to do. And just because somebody tests uber athletically for a tight end doesn't mean the skill set can then convert to receiver. If anything, it means like, and this is weird based on his frame, but if anything, it means he's more like an H-back type than necessarily making him a wide receiver. At least from like, if you have to figure out what to do with him full time. Like if you never want to put him on the line as a blocker, I'd rather like think about the screen game, like moving around in the backfield, like having him split out to like a wing kind of situation. Like think of when Patrick Ricard was on the end of the line for the Ravens. He was hardly ever all the way up on the line of scrimmage. Like usually like a small step, something more in that capacity. But I think you take away what makes him unique if you try to make him a full on receiver because he's just not going to move the right way at this point.
All right. Any other thoughts from Ben or Austin before we move on to the next player?
Yeah, I'm not super in love with the player, but the ceiling is definitely there for him.
Reach the halfway point. I'll do a little score check-in. Currently, Simon is still leading the pack with 15 points. In second place, actually tied. No, I'm doing my math wrong. Sorry. In second place is still Austin with 8 points and Ben with 7 points. Still close enough. I think that.
That was rude, Peyton.
What do you mean it's rude?
It was rude. Second place. Oh no, just kidding. Still last place. Still last place.
All right. So moving on to our next player. Another kind of inconspicuous, not really like able to determine much from the silhouette. I'll go ahead and let you guys give your best guess.
That's what you think.
I will say you guys are better at the silhouette guessing than I thought you would be. So I'll go ahead and give you guys a chance to do that.
I only got the one, and it was a guy I watched play every home game for 2 years. So,
so you kind of knew maybe a little bit from.
If you take that silhouette and get the picture with the background in it, Austin is right there next to him. Actually, he was in that picture.
I've advanced my strategy, so I have one automatic defensive player guess every time until I hit it, and one offensive player guess every time until I hit it.
How's that working out for you, man?
So currently
Not good.
So currently Austin's guess and Ben's guess are incorrect. Simon, did I get your? Oh, there you are.
Just now.
Okay, all those guesses are incorrect, so we can move on to the first hint. Daniel Jeremiah says he has average size but excellent play speed and toughness, patient in press, staying on balance before using his hands to redirect at the line of scrimmage. He is fluid to turn, open up, and mirror underneath. He has plenty of speed to carry vertical routes. From off coverage, he trusts his eyes and is efficient with his plant and drive on balls in front. He can locate and play the ball, but he gets grabby at times when the ball is in the air. He is more than willing against the run, fighting through blockers, serving as a reliable tackler in space. There's probably some hints there that you can kind of at least narrow it in on some guys.
It brought up two players to mind, so we'll see if I get, if I'm close on either one.
So Simon's answer is incorrect, but Austin actually did get it based off of that. So good job, Austin.
Thank you. I watched this player very recently. So.
Oh, okay. So top of mind a little bit. Ben, you are also incorrect. So we're going to go on to the next hint for you and Simon. Dane Brugler says he checks boxes for size, speed, physicality, and catch point skills. He's still developing from his route anticipation from off coverage, but he plays sticky man-to-man and gets busy as a run defender. He had an up and down Senior Bowl week, but his highs made him look like a first-round player. Okay, Simon got it correct. Read it. Oh, there you go. You did stop the bleeding. You also got it correct. So without this is the first time you guys got it even without the player comps. So good job. Player comps, I'll just read them off for the viewers. We have Marlon Humphrey, Carlton Davis, and Kamari Lassiter. The player is Colton Hood. So as a intriguing prospect, like given that he's going to be somebody who's considered in that bottom half to like late first round, right, for the cornerback position. What do you guys think of Hood as a prospect, given that he was able to shine but in place of Jamal McCoy, who was also at Tennessee?
Yeah, I thought he held up very well. You know, the athleticism is there. The physicality is certainly there. The quasi ability to stick in man, all of that. It's there. It's worth a late first round pick, especially in this year's draft. Typically, this kind of high end, high ceiling athleticism that I think it's limited would be more like middle second round, 40-ish. But in this year's draft, I would be thrilled to grab this guy late first round, depending on the team and the need. But this guy's a legit guy. I just don't ever see him being all pro elite type level, but certainly a really solid prospect all the way through.
Yeah, I just see like no holes in his game, and so that makes you perfect for getting drafted in this range. Almost more than some of these corners that I do even like their talent a little bit more, just because I think a good team could draft him as their CB2 right now and keep him all 5 years, like even on a 5th-year option, just be like, we have a 5-year window where we don't have to worry about our second corner, and maybe we go for the higher ceiling guy. Maybe we already have that guy. Maybe we've already paid somebody, and he would just be really solid on the other side for a good team.
All right, moving on to the next round. We have another guy in some kind of a running stance. Is he carrying a ball? Is he not? We don't know. But I'm going to go ahead and let you guys put your guesses in for this next guy. I have a feeling I know who Ben is going to guess. And I regret to inform you it is incorrect.
Or even pushes send. Ben, it's not.
Simon, your guess is also incorrect.
I gotta pick one, I reckon.
I reckon you
That is
do.
how this works.
That's kind of how the game
I reckon
works.
I reckon that's the game. I feel like I'm relying way too much on my initial thoughts of what the player looks like. And like I feel like after this initial guess, I need to kind of like throw that out the window maybe.
Oh, you mean like you're guessing the silhouette based on what they look like, and then you're not really taking into account the actual hints?
I am, but I'm like, because like I think I'm thinking back to the one where you showed a slim man and it was a 340-pound man.
Caleb Banks has completely altered the perception of this game for Austin.
That's
Nothing
true.
makes sense anymore.
He just shot up like another 10
especially-
spots on Austin's board, though. He's like, dang, man, can you slim down like that?
All right, Austin got it correct.
Oh, let's go.
Oh, son of a-
Wow.
That's why you take
Really?
your time, ladies and gentlemen. You
Dang.
study the player's outline.
All right, so Simon
Austin's got a conversion chart for like centimeters to feet.
I'm doing pixel measurements to measure bicep length, and I'm just going purely based off strength.
all right.
Honestly, one of them I did try to determine, like, are those long arms or short arms? And it was when I was between Falk and Ruben Bain. I was like, all right, would those be classified as undersize or?
It's not like the worst. There's a couple of these you might be able to deduct a little bit based off of the frame, depending. But all right. So Simon and Ben, we're gonna keep it rolling. Daniel Jeremiah says, against the run, he has good instincts and awareness. He can thud off offensive guards or play over the top of them. He flies around the field with outstanding effort. He's an explosive striker on ball carriers with a high batting average as a tackler. He has some tightness. Which shows up in coverage, but he has enough speed to run with tight ends and running backs. He's instinctive as a zone dropper. That was a little bit of a tougher read for me.
I think this was
One
my
player
first
instantly
wrong
Came to
position
mind when I
guess.
heard that. So we'll see if I'm seeing the same thing that they're seeing.
Ben did get it correct. Good job by you.
Oh, now the pressure's on.
And Simon did not get it correct. A little bit of a catch up for Austin and Ben here. Simon's going to have to make up.
Go ahead and start juggling again, Simon.
Yeah. Maybe it'll help.
Maybe that'll help, honestly.
All right. So second hint, Dane Brugler says using his football smarts as a run defender, he is quick to sort, fill, and chest up ball carriers, often playing one step ahead of the other 10 defenders on the field. He is inconsistent power and pop as a take-on player in tight spaces, but sifts through blockers with lateral agility.
Just realized I'm still sending you messages, and it's just you and me having a conversation, I guess now.
That is incorrect. Yeah, you can give the guess out loud this next time. All right, last hint. Player comps. We have Devin White, we have Zaire Franklin, and we have Diane Henley.
Is it Arvell Reese?
It's not Arvell Reese, no.
Okay, see, that was me
No,
second guessing.
no.
All right.
Empty round for Simon. Big.
Tough.
big for Austin and Ben there. It is CJ Allen is the player that we were talking about. Now, did any of that, like, to you give CJ Allen, or was that just completely throwing you off based off of hints that we gave you?
I didn't like those hints. I don't see him as somebody that like takes on blocks in an effective way. I think because I mean, there was in one of those comps, there was a mention that like inconsistent as a run defender or something like that. But like both of them were like eats blocks and thuds against guards, and I was like, he
Yeah.
runs into them, but then he doesn't do anything. Like that's so like, are they just comping the fact that they like that he runs into? I don't. Maybe Ben and Austin like are seeing something different, but and maybe I just
Actually, so
I
me
I
and
like
Austin actually hashed this out in depth. It's a great point here. Me and Austin went through this big time. When he's just standing there, CJ Allen kind of waiting at second level, he can get eaten up by guards. I mean, destroyed, wiped out. But when he reads plays and moves, they almost can't even touch him. But when they do, he runs them down and goes through them. And he blows up the running game consistently that way. And he's pretty good at reading, which allows him to be that effective at getting into the run game. Yes.
and that I agree with. That I agree. I think if the description had just been more about like reads like run blocking well and knifes through and avoids blocks to make tackle. I think he's very good at that. I don't agree at all with takes on like that. I think that's why I went with like Anthony Hill because
Right.
like he also gets washed even though he's like much bigger, which is why he does go and take on guards. I don't think he does it super effectively, but like Allen, I don't see that at all. So
They
all
also
It
right.
is
said
interesting. That's right,
they,
Austin. You go.
one of them said, I think it was Jeremiah said he's like fairly comp or like has like it looked good in zone coverage or something like that. I thought he looked horrible in zone coverage.
I thought Hill was much better in zone coverage than Allen.
Yeah,
I like
yeah, it says he has some tightness which shows up in coverage. So I guess
Yeah,
it kind
no,
of
but it said something later. Like the last sentence from Jeremiah said,
yeah,
like,
like
see.
comfort dropping back and
Oh, he's
into zone
instinctive
or
as a
something.
zone dropper,
Instinctive.
which you didn't.
yeah, I just disagree fully.
Yeah,
Hard
I agree.
stop.
Yeah. I find this. I also wanted like this to do this game as an exercise of like the differences that like all of us see in tape because it is
Mhm.
so. How do I say this? It's very like the perspective of one of like the way that you watch film is not going to be the same as like Daniel Jeremiah. Even though yes, it's his job. Like we all see these things differently, and I also like wanted to give this as an opportunity for a way for us to like show the spots where we do actually disagree with some of these experts and some of these
It's
like
eye opening for sure.
yeah. Moving on to the next.
I don't feel bad getting 0 for that because I completely disagree with all of that. So that's that.
I
I
fundamentally
feel
disagree with Daniel
vindicated.
Jeremiah, so you feel
Yeah.
justified.
I was on the start line at the Olympics and I disagree with the score I got before, so I just didn't go. I just didn't take the rep.
All right, so moving on to the next player, we have pretty like I don't want to say it's like amorphous. What's the word I'm looking for? It's just kind of like like just a blob.
It's an obelisk.
Yeah. All right, so go ahead and give your best guess for this player. Simon did get it correct.
I'm back, baby.
Oh, dang it.
Get
None
out
of
of
these
here.
silhouettes, man.
Austin also got it correct.
Wow.
Man.
Man, you guys are on fire.
All right, Ben. So I think this first hint's going to help you out. I think you're going to be able to stay in the game with this first hint personally.
All right.
He's
Daniel Jeremiah, that is a crazy piece of Steelers merch, by the way. Daniel Jeremiah says he has excellent feet and agility for a big man. In pass protection, he has an explosive first step and keeps defenders off his chest. He can sink his weight and stall bull rushers. He will occasionally react late off the snap, which has led to some short corner losses. In the run game, he can uncoil his hips on contact and displace defenders. He excels on down blocks, washing defenders down the line of scrimmage. You can go ahead and guess out loud now that the other two have gotten it correct.
And tell you what threw me and why I'm still scrambling here a little bit.
Sure.
When I looked at that player, the silhouette, I thought defensive tackle. So now I'm converting over mentally to offensive line after I got about a third of the way through your through the description there. So let's pull out Caleb Lemieux.
It is not Caleb Lomu, but
Okay.
we are going to move on to the next one. Dane Brugler says, flashes dominance when he plays on time. He has the size and movement skills to engulf defenders when in rhythm as a pass blocker. However, he struggles to negotiate space and understand his leverage. And it is a similar story in the run game. Talent isn't the issue. If his discipline and technique catch up to his physical ability, we'll be cooking with gas.
Now that one instantly, I wouldn't even need to see the board. That instantly said Caden Proctor to me.
That is Caden Proctor indeed.
Okay.
And
All
the
right.
player comps that I had for him which this would have probably also been a really big giveaway. Orlando Brown Jr., Trent Brown, Jordan Mailata. Just I guess from maybe like the athletic profile standpoint. But so given that, you know, that second one, the Dane Brugler description that, you know, I read off and you said it was a dead giveaway. What part of that was the dead giveaway to you, Ben?
Talent but undisciplined. That's going to be the dilemma that all these NFL teams have to. You know, do you take him? You know, I'm just throwing out a number here. You take him 10 or you take him 40. You know, and you know some people do not want to try to train a guy like this. They're just not interested. So I think for some teams he just won't even really be on the board at all, kind of. And other people are like, no, we're desperate. We're desperate for that kind of talent. And even if he never really trues up as far as the technique and the discipline goes, we can, you know, we'll still have one of the more talented guys we'd ever get hold of, you know. So it's a big dilemma. It'll lead to a lot of arguments in NFL rooms, and I understand the dilemma on both sides of him.
I know, Simon, that you're like kind of like the other deemed offensive line guy, like between, you know, you and Ben carrying the weight of the Box Score Network in that regard.
Yeah, just call him fat straight up.
Because I have a chef's hat next to my computer. What are you talking about?
Well, you know, we're talking about Caden Proctor. You know, we're talking, you know, weight, size,
Jeez,
but you know, no. So okay, regarding that though, like, I think that in a way, like, do you think that Caden Proctor at times has like suffered the prospect fatigue, element of like the process because people have kind of really harped on he's not, you know, early in the draft process, even like during, you know, before the year started, people thought this was like a locked top 10 pick at tackle. And now is this a guy that we're going to take, you know, with the top, even in like the top 20, or, you know, is he going to fall all the way to like the back end of the first round?
No, I think this is truly just in the tape. I mean, I remember when Ben and I first broke down the offensive linemen in like October, and at that point we're still mostly going off of the 2024 film, and this was my first time watching them. Just immediately, like rep to rep, you see the inconsistency. You see, wow, the talent, the athleticism jumps off the screen, but also why on this rep did he step here with this foot, and this rep he stepped here with this foot in the same situation, and clear, like just like no plan, like it's just very clear, game to game, rep to rep, drive to drive. There's just inconsistency there one way or another. And you know, Austin mentioned this in our mock that moving guard takes care of a lot of that. There's a lot less stuff that has to go on, but I think this is who he is and probably has always been.
All right, moving on to our second to last guy. I will give a score update. Simon has a total of 22 points, still in first place. Austin is actually on his tail, though, at 21 points with 2 players left to go. Ben, not out of it yet. He would really have to kind of like get a silhouette, maybe get it off the first hint, and then hope that.
Totally out of it with that.
No, I believe in you, Ben. I think you can get one of them. We'll see.
Have I gotten a single silhouette?
No,
yet?
you haven't. But I still have. I like to give you the benefit of the doubt. You're such a nice guy. I want you to succeed. But Simon's like, nice guy. Anyways, moving on to the second to last player. We have what looks to be somebody who is doing something with a football. What he's doing, we have no idea. I guess maybe you can tell, maybe not. But go ahead and submit your guesses based off of that silhouette.
See, now I'm doing the thing where I'm like, Peyton's trying to get in our heads. How is he trying to trick us with this picture?
Ben, it is incorrect, man. That I will say that's maybe the closest you've been to one of them, though. So You're getting better.
I'm getting back.
Austin, yeah, you're getting better the second to last opportunity in the game coming to an end. All right, nobody got it off of that, so that's good. So we get to have some fun with this one.
Nobody got that one.
Nobody got that one.
Wow.
All right, so we're going to go on to our first hint. So Lance Zierlein from NFL.com says, long-limbed Z receiver with the ability to create downfield for an offense thirsty to make more explosive plays outside. He builds to speed with long strides and dominates above the rim. He's adept at using length and body control to capture airspace against cornerbacks. He's a more competent route runner than most field stretcher types, but he needs to become more physical on contested targets underneath. All right, Simon, your guess is incorrect. That's great news for Austin and Ben, honestly. Ben got it. Nice. Good job, Ben. See, I believed in you. I believed in you.
Do I throw for content here? There's really only like two guys I think this could be. I'm gonna go this one, but I don't like it.
That is incorrect.
I
So
didn't think it
Ben,
was.
not out of it. I will say that. Not out of it.
Don't
So-
call it a comeback.
Don't call it a comeback. All right. Second hint for Simon and Austin. Dane Brugler says he gets to top speed in a hurry, which allows him to stack corners on his hip and keep them there. He can sink to smoothly get in and out of breaks, although scouts want to see him improve his consistency. There we go, on intermediate routes and expand his route menu.
Also, did we note that the first thing that Dane said was in complete opposition to what Lance said?
Maybe a little different.
But to your point, Peyton, of just like how people
Yes, it
see
is so
it's
interesting to see
interesting.
like even how these guys, like these experts, see things so differently. That's kind of why I liked about this exercise.
I definitely feel like my guess based on this description is way different than my first guess.
It is very different, and it's also incorrect.
Shit. Somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the
Different
middle.
doesn't mean it's good different. Austin did get it correct though, so that's actually a big deal for
That
him.
makes a
as
lot of
far
sense,
as
actually. I
scoring.
hadn't thought of that one.
All right,
Hmm.
so we're gonna go to player comps for Simon. I'm gonna give you these, and we'll see. Go ahead and give your answer out loud once I read them. Player comps: Christian Watson, Brian Thomas Jr., Plaxico Burress.
Jesus. Um,
Was that a Plaxico Burst mention?
I didn't put that there for myself, but I saw it and I was like, you know what? Just a little throwback here, just for content. Why not?
Hell yeah.
okay. Jordan Tyson?
It's not Jordan Tyson. This is Chris Brazel of Tennessee. So, I'll throw it to Ben, just considering that you got it like right off the top, and then the fact that Simon, read the second description that Dane Brugler provided, and thought of like that they didn't align at all. So like what as Brazel as a receiver, like considering he's a guy that is probably going to be a target for a lot of teams on like early day 2 to mid day 2, or I should say early second round to mid second round. What do you think he brings to the table that is like possibly something that you could argue him to be up there with that class of receivers like Denzel Boston and even the tail end of like a Jordan Tyson, but like what keeps him from being considered in the first round with those guys?
And real quick, if you don't mind, for me on the audience sake, can you read again just the first part of what Brugler said?
Yeah,
that Simon
absolutely.
was feeling was very different from the first report.
Yeah, so like Dane Brugler said, he gets to top speed in a hurry, which allows him to stack corners on his hip and keep them there.
Yeah. Okay. So the report the first guy put out, I thought was good. Brazel can run straight line in a hurry. The long stride is totally there. I mean, totally. He looks like an antelope out there. Goodness gracious. And the top speed is there. He has no problem with big plays. Matter of fact, whenever they needed a big play last year, that is where they went. They didn't even hide that. It's just like, no, we need a big play. It's 3rd and 11. We're going right there to Brazel. So every single time you want that, he can play above the rim very well. He jumps so well. He's got long frame. He catches fairly well in that. So all of that's beautiful. You want the big play. This is totally your guy. That would be the reason that you draft him up there late first if you want him that high, is that that big play ability is totally there. And there's so few guys that offer that. Goodness gracious. So he's got that. But boy, you talk about physicality underneath, didn't show it. Traffic underneath didn't show it. He is smooth getting in and out of breaks. That's fine. But boy, you can rough him around underneath. There were lots of plays last year, first and second down. They didn't even look at him on the first two options. They looked other places consistently. I mean, they literally did not even look at him on first and 10, second and 6. Forget about it. We're not interested. But big play, it's a huge difference, So that's what Brazel is. I don't know that he's ever super going to change a lot off of that. He may add a little bit of, boundary work. I would not expect too much over the middle out of him, to be honest.
All right. And then, Simon, Austin, if you have any thoughts on Brazel, go ahead. But otherwise, we can move on to our last player. All right. So we're going to move on. And going into the last player, I will mention that we have a different leader in the pack. We have Austin, who was able to take a 1-point lead over Simon with 23 points. Simon has 22 points. And Ben still has the ability to, if he can guess his silhouette, he can at the very least try and not come in last place. I will say that.
What?
So
if I get the silhouette correct, I might not come in last place.
That's a real low bar. The bar is real low.
All right. So go ahead and submit your guesses for this last player.
Should I even look at the silhouette? Hang on.
No, honestly, it would be better if you didn't. Just throw a name.
It might actually be better if I didn't.
Just whatever prospect comes to mind first. Doesn't matter. Just don't even think about it. Unfortunately, Ben, that is incorrect. Simon, I believe you sent yours. That is also incorrect. And right. Freed and Simon are in a real competition here. So he's really paying attention to these pixels.
Yeah. I've got my abacus out, my compass. I'm breaking out everything. I'm looking, my strategy for the silhouettes is really to look less at the person and more of a notable thing they might have on.
Oh, like an accessory kind of deal.
Mm-hmm. So Caden Proctor,
yeah,
I saw the big, giant,
elbow
arm brace on, and I was like, oh, Caden Proctor had that on a few times, and that is something I use for that.
See, I was gonna make a joke and say, the big black blob that is on all of their arms, but I did do the same thing with Proctor. I immediately clocked that elbow guard, so that was
I will say if you do get this right, Freed, I don't think you've given me an answer yet, but if you do get it right, you basically secure the win.
Yep. Okay. We're gonna go.
That's correct.
Let's go.
Wow. Are you serious?
Let's go.
I should have clocked you is what I should have done.
Yeah.
No points. No, man. Dang,
I was reverse image searching that whole time.
I'm sure you were. Thanks, ChatGPT, for ruining our friendly competition. All right. So Ben and Simon, we're gonna go ahead and do this just for giggles and such. All right. So Daniel Jeremiah says he's a rugged pass rusher with a powerful shake/bull move coming off the edge. He can jolt blockers with his hands before separating and closing the distance with the quarterback. He doesn't have an elite burst when rushing outside, but his quickness plays better when he rushes inside. Against the run, he can generate knockback power at the point of attack, and he's adept at keeping opponents' hands off his frame.
If it's going to be this guy, I'm going to be upset. Although I guess
I'm pretty sure both
anyway,
of you had guessed this guy at some point in this game. I just don't know what.
It's this guy.
What player.
I wouldn't have gotten
it. It is not that guy, Simon.
Oh, okay. All right. That actually makes me feel a little bit better then.
It is not that guy.
I don't want to get it wrong.
I've seen this. This guy was guessed by I think all three of you for several of the people that we've talked about, whether it be for the silhouette or not. Whenever we've talked about other players in this game. It is not that player. So we're going to go ahead and go on to the second hint. Dane Brugler says, at his best when he finds a runway and uses his get-off, forward lean, and length to drive blockers backward into the laps of quarterbacks. His speed to power attack is formidable, but NFL blockers will be expecting it. How he develops his setup and secondary rush will determine his pro ceiling. Hey, it is not that guy, Ben.
Okay.
Simon, let's see if you got it either. Simon did get it correct. So
Wow.
2 points to Simon in a what was a valiant yet fell short effort to maintain his long held lead throughout this game. But Ben, just to see if you can get it on the last try, player comps for this player: Jermaine Johnson, Bradley Chubb, Rashawn Gary. You can go ahead and give your guess whenever you have it ready.
All right. The other guy that had come to mind, dang it, I tell you, let's bring it up a little bit different. Maybe that's why I didn't guess this guy. Okay. All right. Let's say R. Mason Thomas will be my final guess on this.
It is not a bad guess. It's not R. Mason though. The player in this silhouette is going to be TJ Parker.
Okay.
So I guess. Well, I'm not gonna ask Freed. Freed just has the ability to read these silhouettes, but Simon, you didn't get it off the first try, but like the fact that you were able to get off the second one, what do you feel like was the defining characteristic that made you pivot to like TJ Parker being your guess on the second one? Was there like a dead giveaway that wasn't in that first descriptor?
No, I don't think so, because my first guess is based on the scouting report was Mesidor. And I think both guys are just very similar in terms of being like squatty but very stout edge rushers that have that body type where they can scoot inside. Um and yeah, the knockback power was my big one, and the hand use I think describes both of them very, very well. So Mesidor was just is the better version of that than Parker. And I think the second description even talked about development, like honing those skills and developing them more. And like Mesidor is like the actualized version of that player, and then Parker is the second step down from that, who just needs to develop that. So I think that was probably it, but it was honestly just like everything that I thought from the first one where it was Mesidor, just kind of copy paste almost to TJ Parker.
Austin, Ben, do either of you guys have any like thoughts you want to share on TJ Parker as a prospect, being that he's kind of in that, I guess you could say like that second tier of pass rushers, maybe even like third tier of pass rushers, depending on where you guys have him ranked. Like as a prospect, where do you think he lies in this edge class?
I'm still mixed results on Parker. I like his speed off the edge, actually. He looks like he can get clean off the edge at times. It's not consistent enough. And again, the point that you and the evaluator made about the development still needed, a lot of development still needed at Parker. He is all over the map in terms of consistency. But the talent's really undeniable. I feel like he's got a way higher ceiling than Mesidor. But boy, Mesidor really dialed it in this past year. So, had Parker played as long in college as Mesidor, I think Parker may have been shutting it down a whole lot, a whole lot more than what Mesidor's done.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me. I would like to crown our winner, Austin Freed, in the first initial version of Name That Prospect, scoring a total of 28 points on the back of 4 correctly guessed silhouettes, which is insane.
Wow.
I did not think that we would have
I thought we would have 4 total.
Yeah, I did not anticipate like as many of you. Well, Ben did not get one, but that was maybe because of his steadfastness to guess Jeremiah Love for the first like 6. So despite whatever the silhouette said, but yeah, impressive showing from all of you guys. Simon finished in second with 24, and then Ben having a good time here at 17. Had some highlights in there from. Yeah, I will say I think Ben had the most guesses off of the first scouting report. So I will say, seems like Ben's the one who's best at watching tape out of all of us.
I thought Peyton
I
thought
thought
Peyton
Peyton
was about to say he made the most guesses. Congrats, Ben.
Well, with that said, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to check out all these guys on their respective shows: Simon and Friends podcast, Tricky Takes podcast, Ben Parker on Pro Football Enterprises, as well as Odds on Favorite. And then please stay tuned to all of our draft content that we're going to have here on the Box Score Network channel. This has been the Box Score Network NFL Draft Show. We will see you next time.